I must prepare myself to meet and surrender to Jesus completely. Heaven is the goal, and everything else is less. I grew up in a Jewish family, received a completely Jewish education, was bar mitzvahed, also confirmed, taught about Jewish history, identifying myself as a Jewish person with the Jewish race. It didn't take completely, and I couldn't somehow find a spiritual path within it. And so eventually I became a nominal Jewish person. In other words, a person who identified myself as Jewish, but that was only because I had nothing else that had grasped my heart, except science. For a while, science did. I began my search as a scientist because it seemed to offer an answer to questions, at least questions how amazing things like life were able to exist. And so I became a scientist, a graduate student at MIT. But while I was there, I found another path, which was even more challenging than the scientific path, and open to all possible answers, and it seemed to be the Buddhist path. And so I became a follower of the Buddha and the Buddhist way, and seeking enlightenment. Eventually, I left the Buddhist path, but I didn't know where I was to go next. It was only by the grace of God and some little pointers that I eventually found that Christ was the path. The church showed the way. My parents, of course, never understood why I became Catholic. They thought I was maybe a little imbalanced, which maybe I am, who knows. My brother had some potential of understanding, but his understanding came slowly. But I was always in a hurry. I was always in a spiritual hurry. My brother lagged behind, so I didn't pay as much attention to him sometimes. It was only recently that I was recovering from a messed up call to go to Belgium that I started to pay attention to my brother, who was in a difficult mental state. And then I learned that all that I learned to apply to other people, I had to apply to him. I had to show him unconditional love, and that I would be faithful to him no matter what. And since that time, he has come much more fully into the Catholic faith. And now I have a shared family member who is beginning to love God as I do. When I was a young Jewish person, I was taught by my Jewish elders to watch out for Christmas, that it was very dangerous. And so I was wary, and I didn't learn much about Christmas. I never shared Christmas with Christians. And then, of course, when I actually became Christian, I grew to love Christmas as a revelation of Jesus, the little one, the child, also the man who chose to become a child for the sake of us, to show us the fullness of his love. At the age of 12, I made a prayer, and I said, I am not wise, I am not loving, I am not the person whom I should be. God, help me, change me, and I will do anything. I forgot that prayer after I said it, but God did not forget. I needed a Savior because I was searching. I was searching for wisdom. I was searching for love, and there was no path unless someone guided me, someone much greater than me. I had tried the Buddha as my guide, and it didn't work in the end. But who would be my helper? Who would show me the path? And by the grace of God, I came to see that my path somehow led to Jesus and to his cross and to his church and to the path of Christian discipleship. And so God did appear at the time he was meant to appear, to become my Savior.